You got your light back. I don't know how you did it, but I'm glad. Because we're gonna need it. There are a lot more survivors.
Oh.
And we need our help.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, alright.
I sent a friend
Alright. Just stop, please. This can't be a ride. That's gonna be... Yep. Poncho lady.
Don't tell him I said that.
Boys and girls, strap yourselves in. We're going to review the sequel to one of the most loved and hated games in recent history. Isn't this just gonna be a fucking joy? What do you think, Zavala? God, you're so serious. Just because you lost your light and shit doesn't mean you gotta be a big sourpuss. Live a little. Oh wait, is the prospect of the possibility of death insurmountable? Are you quaking in your little tightened booties? Titan master race my ass. Hop on this hunter dick, yo. Cade and I got a date with destiny. Cue cheesy music with sunglasses, go! Okay, so I've been asked by friends who were disappointed by Destiny 1 if I recommend picking this game up now, waiting for it to go on sale, or just skipping this game entirely. That's a pretty difficult question to ask a person considering everyone's experiences and what they enjoy is going to be totally different from the next person. So with that in mind, please take into consideration this is only my opinion. You might agree or disagree with me, and that's okay. It's okay to have different opinions. It's okay to be a Titan. I forgive you. But not that last one. Fuck Titans. So let's get into this. Oh, excuse me, goddamn. Immediately, for us veteran folk, we get this blast of nostalgia. Kablam! Way to hit us with the feels, Bungivision. Not only do you show us our achievements, but who we originally completed the raids with. Some of whom I no longer talk to. So, that's kind of cool. I completely forgot about these people, but that's kind of cool. Not as cool as giving us like a veteran weapon or gear piece or something, but whatever. Our vault exploded. What are you gonna do? Clearly our Guardian didn't have the Destiny Vault app installed on their Ghost. God damn it, Dinklebot. I mean Nathan. I mean Nolan North. Seriously. Fuck. Loved you in Uncharted. You did great work. Keep it up, man. But come on. I had so many exotics and you didn't back it up? Really? Really? Whatever. We traded our exotics for a personality, I guess. Now,
Sloan, why do the Fallen want Karina?
For ether production, probably. They hook up a big servitor to it, they double or triple output. Why do you ask?
No reason.
now you're a real boy, Ghost Senpai. Be free, my friend. Be free. No, wait, no. Oh no. Oh no. You get around 8 to 10 hours of main story quests, and within them, you discover a few things Destiny 1 sorely lacked, if you weren't paying attention in Destiny 1 anyways. Which, if you didn't... Fuck, whatever. Anyways, story. For the most part, many things are actually explained to you in a cohesive, well-thought-out manner. Yes, there are a few plot holes here.
What good is a resistance when you are the only one who would survive?
But it's something you can overlook. It doesn't take away from the storytelling. There is a beginning, middle, and an end, at least to this chapter, which I respect. It's not some open-ended bullshit where the developers didn't have any time to explain why they didn't have time to explain. Seriously, fuck you. Goddamn stranger-ass bullshit. And you really can't ask for much more from a game of this genre. Something Bungie did very well this time around was correctly theming this entire game. I'm going to assume you either played or know what went on in the beta. The beta was essentially the very beginning of the game. If you didn't know, so this isn't too spoilery. I don't think so. Whatever. Immediately you're given access to a fully spec'd Guardian's toolkit. So, regardless of if you had played Destiny 1 or not, you fully well understand how powerful you actually are. Long story short, you get your ass beat down by Gaul and are thrown off the tower after he traps the light of the Traveler. This, and what immediately follows this sequence of events, is what makes Destiny 2's story elements feel so potent to you as a player. You experience the utter helplessness of a lightless, ghostless guardian, stripped of everything that made you unique, while surrounded by the remnants of what used to be the home you once protected. This theme persists through the entire game up until you beat all that's currently offered to you by the mainline story. You're constantly getting stronger, unlocking new abilities, new subclasses with specific story quests attached to them, which give you a more in-depth and visceral feeling than what Grimoire could have offered you, could have ever offered you, since you experience it as a player in the game. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Grimoire. Fuck you. God damn it, I hated you so... Ugh, okay. Back on track. This wouldn't hold up alone if not for the personalities of Ikora, Cade, and yes, even Blue Balls of can't say his name. See what I did there? Blue? He's blue and bald, so like cue ball, blue ball. Okay, it sounded cooler in my head, whatever. They all have unique and fun personalities and emulate a fire team, an oddball fire team, much like many of us have in reality. Their cohesive triforce of wisdom, power, and courage give us a parallel to the team we ourselves as Guardians will form in the future. So powerful. Theming. Strength. There are also a wider cast of NPCs like Hawthorne and her weird-ass glitchy Hawkbird thing, which I introduced to you in the very beginning, which are all equally strong, if not stronger, than the returning Destiny 1 cast. I got 2 words for you that, if you put together, make one word, which makes a name of an NPC in the game. It's called failsafe.
I can help you, but I'm gonna be super unpleasant about it.
I'm sorry. What?
I have uploaded his new coordinates to you, against my better judgment.
Okay.
Fail, whatever. An ingenious bipolar AI found on Nessus. Don't even get me started. Oh, she's brilliant. She's just brilliant. I would buy failsafe in an instant. Like, I'm talking, like, please, Bungie, ghost voice packs. Like, do it. Do it, please. Oh my god. That'd be so fucking awesome. Followed immediately by an Arnold Schwarzenegger one. I'd also buy that, so please consider the following. Now, here's some more sexy stuff. Something Demon Souls and Dark Souls is highly noted for, aside from the relentless difficulty and utter despair I feel from being taken by behind. Okay, yeah, that sentence, and yeah, let's take a second on that. Yeah. Stabbed from behind? Nope. Yep, that's not too much better, if I'm being honest. Anyways, there's story being told primarily through the obtaining of items, instead of Grimoire. Fuck you, Grimoire. Exotics and other things like subclasses. Seriously, I hope the guy who made Grimoire got fired. I just can't. I can't. Oh my god, who thought that was a good idea? Like, really, who thought that was a brilliant and fantastic idea to take story elements from a video game, extract them from the game themselves, and like put it into like little cards that you have to like go onto a browser and then like look up their stupid Bungie site and look at? Yeah, that's fun. We're having fun. This is what fun is. Is everybody having fun right now? This is fun. I am so triggered right now. I'm sorry. It's just that, like, I don't know why they couldn't make a good game. Anyways, as I was saying, exotics, certain legendaries, and other things tell us more about the world we're inhabiting instead of having to address an online source. Destiny's Grimoire, other than being an inconvenience, felt disjointed and not connected at all to the world. I have to say this is resolved in Destiny 2. Take a look at this exotic. Pretty fucking cool, huh? These are one of my favorite pairs of boots in the game, just because of the flavor text. Gives you a little history lesson. Then look at the walls of text on this, like, this subclass. This is a lot. This is neat. So, there's that. Not bad. A quoted interview with the cinematic lead Matthew Ward had him say, "I hope people complain about how much story we have. That'd be the Reddit thread I'd like to read." There is certainly more than there was when compared to Destiny 1. That's undeniable. However, it's only sufficient. There's nothing to complain about here, don't get me wrong, except the quote in and of itself isn't exactly genuine or like a fair assessment of what's currently available to us in the game, so I'll just leave it at that. Gameplay. It's just as responsive and satisfying an FPS as the first installment of the game. For someone who has already played Destiny or even Halo, this isn't anything new. The very core of what makes Destiny Destiny was always its strong fundamentals. You know, what makes an FPS engaging and fun. This is everything from astounding audio work developers put into the game to the brilliant visual cues for that positive feedback loop you've come to love from Bungie, like Cabal head explosions when you're on point with your scout rifle, to the astounding particle effects found on your supers. I could go on, but the point I'm driving home here is that when it comes to gunplay in an FPS, Bungie really nailed it. Not that that wasn't to be expected, but I felt like it needed to be pointed out in case you didn't play Destiny 1 or any of the Halo titles that Bungie actually made. The Crucible looks just as fun and enticing as ever. I don't play much PvP myself, so the nuances of certain changes might escape me. I do know many special weapons have joined weapons like the rocket launcher in the heavy slot, such as sniper rifles, shotguns, and fusion rifles, but I can't exactly say how positively or negatively that affects PvP, only that it doesn't bother me in PvE, and from what little PvP I've actually played, it doesn't bother me. At least I'm not constantly being headshot with sniper rifles. That was fucking annoying as shit in Destiny 1. Clans actually offer something other than a tag in your name in-game. They offer rewards to everyone in the clan, like increased drop rates, glimmer and all that. Really nice and needed addition, like big thumbs up on that one. Now, we're going to actually get into the meat of the game though, the grind more specifically. If you've played Destiny 1, you already know what I'm talking about here. Nothing has changed other than the fact you have more weeklies, about the same amount of dailies, and there are more planetary events to take part in. For example, randomly killing in any area has a chance to spawn a more challenging opponent called a high-value target. Enunciate. If you manage to kill it before it departs, you and anyone else who helped get a sweet loot chest. I was going to say crate. It's not a loot crate. You have to pay for those. There are lost sectors, which are instance-based mini-dungeons scattered all around the planets at your convenience for plundering. Kind of boring, not going to lie. Then you got your daily quests on each of the 4 planets, your daily milestone quests, your weekly nightfalls, raids, and clan rewards. It's a mouthful and a lot to take in. Essentially, there's a lot more stuff to do than most people are going to be able to do in a given day. But most people should be able to complete the weekly challenges, which drop the best stuff, like the raids, nightfalls, and clan XP contributions. If you want a comparison game in how the legendary items are handled, still, the best example is Diablo 3, whatever, however you want to say it, because it outlines exactly what Bungie actually did wrong. Oh, that came out of nowhere. Now we're in shit-talking territory. My specialty. You thought I was gonna blow this game's dick? Nah, man. It's got flaws, like every game. You know what game doesn't have flaws? Mega Man. Actually has a lot of flaws. Don't quote me on that. Now, don't get crazy. I hear those keyboards rattling away. How dare you? Put your hands away. Put them in your pockets. Put them away. Do it. Bungie can do no wrong. Man, you can't do anything wrong. Bungie can't do anything wrong, man. Sit down, if you're not already sitting down, and just listen, please, for half a second. Indulge me. Diablo, the fuck, god damn it. Diablo 3 grind has you playing the game to continuously increase your stats so that you can farm faster more efficiently. In higher and higher greater rifts, the same Diablo 3? Fuck, man. This Canadian thing, I can't say shit right. I'm sorry. It's just how I am. I was born this way. I was born broken. Broken in the north. Winter's coming. It's fucking fall out. You should look at the leaves. It's disgusting. It's so cold already. Anyways, Diablo 3's grind has you playing the game to continuously increase your stats, so that you can farm faster and more efficiently in higher and higher greater rifts. The same exact concept generally exists within Destiny 1, and the same holds true with Destiny 2. The primary difference is that on the same piece of gear in Diablo 3 that you may already own, there is a chance you might roll better stats and augments for your abilities. Not only is it fun and interesting to compare items, but the diversity of items and possible stat rolls open up entire class opportunities that didn't exist prior to getting that drop. Now, I'm not asking for a lot, but Destiny's grind completely lacks purpose beyond raising your power level beyond certain thresholds so you can enter and complete certain content. The game is telling you that you, no matter your skill level as a player, need to play for a certain amount of hours to be able to play said piece of content. Normally, I wouldn't complain about that type of thing, but seeing as how every single gun in the game has a predetermined set of scopes/perks, once I've tried a gun of a certain name and decide I don't like it, I can add it to my spreadsheet of legendary shard fodder. This game makes legendaries rain harder than the weather girls. Shout out to all the people who understood that dated reference. For anybody who didn't know, the weather girls, they sang It's Raining Men. But in this case, it's supposed to be raining legendaries. Yep. Between the token system every planet has and activities like public events, you're going to have more legendary items than you know what to do with. It gets annoying to get rewards. And I'm annoyed that I'm annoyed. I should want rewards. This is why grinding sucks in this game. Oh, another Agenda 5? Tell me more about how you wasted my time. At least you get shards, right? I didn't even attempt to save up a ton of shards for Xur, expecting at least 100 shard dump for a single exotic. Nope. 23 for armor, 29 for weapons. I could have bought them all, but I didn't need to since I had half of them already. When it was strange coins and it was week 1 Xur, I could barely afford one. I had to make a choice. But no, that choice is stripped from you. If you play Destiny 2 with any kind of frequency at all, you'll have no problem getting everything from Xur every week. Everything I've explained here hurts the game immensely. You no longer have a reason to keep farming for weapons because they're all boring with pre-configured perks and scopes, and the legendary shards you get from trash legendaries, you're going to have an extreme overabundance of. Anyways, in due time. And I had more than enough for our first fucking Xur encounter. Man, like, I was looking forward to actually being able to make a choice when I went to Xur. Like, oh, I can't afford that one. Maybe I'll be able to grind enough to get, like, the second exotic or something like that. The collector in me is like, yeah, you got all of the things. But the person who actually wants to make a choice in a video game and having to choose, like, a hunter exotic because I enjoy hunter over warlock more doesn't like that. It doesn't like the fact that I can just have everything. This really strips away a lot of meaningful choices you have in this game, since it's no longer fun and exciting after the first week and a half. The diminishing of the value of legendary items and exotics, to be quite frank, is what bothers me. Legendaries of certain names don't get a second look from me, and are better off if they were just shards, so they don't clutter up my fucking inventory. If perks were randomized, I could strive for something. And maybe along the way, like, test out weapons I might enjoy more than what I'm actually seeking. Speaking of choice, your subclasses each get broken up into grenade type, jump type, special ability type. Then you get 2 branching sets of 3 perks, each with their own unique melee attached to them. That 4-pack bundle really bothers the shit out of me. For the most part, they work well with one another, don't get me wrong, but Bungie should consider allowing us the freedom to mix and match them how we see fit. What we had in terms of stats that increase our recovery, resilience, intelligence, strength, and whatnot from Destiny 1 are now all customizable entirely through gear. The piece itself has a set amount of recovery, for example, while mods take the place of intelligence, strength, and discipline. We can still do all the things we could do stat-wise in Destiny 1, but we're more limited in how we choose our perks. Limiting choice is never, ever a good thing, even with the added third ability, which is great, mind you, but they took a step backwards with this one. It's like 2 steps forward and like 3 steps back. So like 1 step forward, 2 steps back. I guess that's the term, whatever. I just want more choice and more customization options over what I pick in my subclass. Like, why can't I have that? Like, grinding in video games is always pretty boring, okay? But there's always a purpose to that grinding, and you're rewarded for your efforts, usually through levels, gear, and materials that the enemies drop. Never has anyone said, I've been killing monsters in this forest for the past 5 hours simply because I enjoy it. People grind because they want to get stronger in a video game, and it's not without its merits as a method for game developers to convey an idea or empower a player. That's a discussion for another day, but I don't feel as if there's any point in grinding in Destiny. Nightfall's raids and completing your weekly challenges are by far the most effective, rewarding, and challenging uses of your time. Maybe not the Clan XP one, that takes a while, but it gives good rewards, so I include it in my things that you should probably do for me. If my time in Destiny 1 is any indicator, I'll have all of those things done in a single afternoon, and it's a shame. I've fallen in love with the EDZ. Aesthetically, it has to be one of the best designed areas in the entire game. I want to marry Failsafe, and Cade is going to be my wedding singer. But for a game about grinding, the game does a poor job of encouraging you to play it beyond the powerful engram rewards. By the way, since XP gained after a level cap goes towards bright engrams, so anyone can get the cosmetics if they put in the time, or silver, I'm completely fine with the Eververse system, even if they give out mods. Mods are cheap to buy from the gunsmith. It's almost as if Blizzard sat down Bungie and said, look, I don't know if you're aware, but these loot boxes we do, you might have heard of Overwatch, it's kind of a big deal. Let us tell you how to do it right. And they actually did it right, I gotta say. I'm also fine with how shaders are as well. I mean, yeah, you use them up after you use them, but whatever. Deal with it. It's not that big of a deal, it's just cosmetics. Quit complaining. People are only complaining because it wasn't how it was in Destiny 1. It's my opinion that if it was always like this, everyone would be ecstatic at the diverse color schemes we have access to. This is unintentionally detailed. I apologize. And before this gets too long, I'll end with this. Destiny 2 is an extremely formulaic masterpiece, and I don't mean that in a good way or even really a bad way. I mean it sort of both ways. I mean it in a AAA kind of way. It's like they had a checklist of everything that pissed players off originally, and had a point to prove them all wrong in the release of Destiny 2, only I don't feel like they fully delivered on that promise. Story-wise, they kind of did nail it, and I expect them to continue to nail it in the upcoming expansions. However, somewhere along the line, weapons along with subclasses were simplified for what seems like a more easily balanceable game, where there should have been increased choices and customization options from Destiny 1 outside simply cosmetic enhancements. My main problem with this game is that I feel like I'm playing Destiny 1. That negative for me can be a positive for many others, though, and I understand that. Though this game on launch is leaps and bounds better by comparison. I played Destiny up until the end of The Taken King. For me, it feels like nothing has really changed, and that's extremely disappointing for me. Again, this is very subjective. Before I go into scores, which I've divided up into 2 parts, by the way, I want to mention what an outstanding job the musical composition team did on this game yet again. It's so good and perfectly used for every scenario that I don't have any complaints at all here. Just masterful work. Good. It's a great job. Just a great job. So here are the scores. I'm giving 2 of them. Why? Because I'm seriously on the fence here, and I feel like I can speak for both groups. On one hand, I want to go elbow deep into this game. The majority of my friends list is composed of Destiny players, and I have such a long history with the game and them that it'll be really cool to get back into it with them, raid and hit up the Crucible. But on the other hand, I can't stand the thought of doing one more public event, let alone devote that amount of time to a single game again. So if you're a player who, like me, liked Destiny, but fell off the train somewhere along the lines because the game became too boring for you, even though the gameplay and raids were exciting, then you're not going to get into Destiny 2 and have very much fun beyond the first 2 weeks or so. The game becomes boring and repetitive extremely fast. This feeling is exacerbated by the fact you've primarily already done everything Destiny 2 has to offer in Destiny 1. It's made worse since the raining of rewards you get initially eventually feel like an annoyance, since perks on guns aren't randomized. Therefore, make all weapons of a certain name become insta-fodder if you've decided they don't feel/have good enough perks. Legendaries are easy to get since it rains legendaries, and most of them you'll probably get rid of since they'll be comparable to your existing gear/weapons, exactly the same, or worse, fodder. Then Xur isn't a sufficient liquidation of the legendary shards, even though he should be, since you're outright purchasing exotics. This logic escapes me. The game just feels easier and more formulaic. But most of all, it's boring. I assume the boring part is partially since I played so much Destiny 1, but in any case, I give this game a very generous 6 out of 10. However, if you're a player who stuck with Destiny all the way through, or are looking for a reason to get back into Destiny, Destiny 2 is everything you've ever wanted. It has tons of things to do per week, many more things to do on all the planets. The story is rich with exciting content. The lore is all within the game itself now, so you don't need to leave the game to see it all. The environments are much more fleshed out and therefore beautiful. The PvP is still a lot of fun, and the FPS combat has never been better. So in this case, I give for those players the game a 7 out of 10. That was a long review, and I'm sorry that took so long, but I thank you for sticking through it with me. What do you guys think? Do you think I'm being too hard on the game? Or do you think that I'm just too jaded from Destiny 1? Leave your opinions in the comment section down below. Leave a like button if you enjoyed what I've done here. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you. Bye.